Good afternoon, family. This is another report, the 360 Melanin Report, 360 Melanin Report, 360 Melanin Report. Thank you so much for tuning Black in. I hope you all are having a beautiful Sunday. I am getting ready to go to the health club and work out. I did not have a lot of time as I was traveling for the last few weeks to kind of take care of my physical health in terms of I always eat well, but moving my body, that's a requirement for sure. So thank you again for tuning in. And I have a topic, what is our standard of living? We are always, I may have to read the fair use disclaimer. I probably won't, but just to be on the safe side, let me go ahead and do this. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So, my topic is what is our standard of living? What is our standard of living? It seems like we are pushed and pulled in so many different directions overall. And so, without talking about political, social, why were we put here? Why were we come into this being as a human being and this assignment that we have? So the earth had a purpose for you as a being. And so you needed to come to earth to work on some things or achieve things, blah, blah. So what is your purpose of being here? It's just, why are you here? So a lot of people find their purpose, and that's really, really good. So, we are thinking about uh, food, education, exercise, social things. Let's just say social and put that on the side. But why are we here? Why did we have this assignment? you know and I believe, some people, you don't understand. They use like drugs all the time, socially, pill popping, et cetera, et cetera. So are we here to do some of this, some of it, some of the time? I just don't know if people are really clear as their purpose. The purpose is to have life and live life more abundantly. But that is maybe not the end all be all. So when you think of living, you think about a job. So I want to just take that off the table, just eliminate that entirely. So why are we here? To do duties of working. People are always saying, they always self-identify with their job. I work at ABC company and I do blah blah blah. And that's the purpose. That's our purpose. If you have children, you'll name the children. If you don't have children, you'll name, say, furry babies, which I have. And so, why are we here? Fundamentally, what is the purpose of our life? So, we always think about spirituality, some emotional, physical, spiritual. I work out, I'm not going to say every day, but a part of my routine is having a physical activity. And usually this time of year, it's kind of sticky, a little bit more moisture in Phoenix, and so I elect to go to the health club, which I'm going to do right after this. So how are we identifying ourselves? Take off everything that you know to be. So just remove all of those confinements. work, job, marriage, blah, 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 children, blah, blah, blah. So why are we have this purpose of being here? Why, whatever year you were born, let's say 1975 or 1976 or whatever the year, why were you put here? Why were you put here on this planet Earth? So perhaps some wreaking havoc. Some people have that in their mind, their heart, their spirit, and that's what they do. But at the end of the day, have we ever asked, why are we here? What's the purpose of our lives? And so I believe we each have a purpose. We each have an assignment. We each have a due diligence to find that assignment and fulfill it, whatever it is. Hopefully it's all good, you know, but we have to dig a little deeper than people pushing our buttons, especially our people, Black and brown people, because we are the pillar of society, although some would not believe that. But we, nine and a half out of 10 of us do the right thing every time, with some a little exception, but we do the right thing. We didn't come here, we didn't evolve to be melanated people to come here and just be, crazy, stupid, just doing, ridiculous stuff. So I am challenging the viewers. What is your purpose other than following the ball? If the energy has you focusing on whatever, whether it's COVID, if it's vaccinations in general, it's perhaps not being able to vote, people all stirred up with that. And I just think this is another way to captivate the mind and hearts of our people. And this, why? Wherever our time and energy goes, that is what we're going to see. If you are living in a way that it's fruitful, you will have an assignment of doing, big things or little things, but some of us are just moving along day to day life, doing, whether it's a concert you go to, it's just like little pockets of information that we are going along with. And this is not why we're here. I just challenge you. I challenge each person under my voice. What is the purpose of your life? And have you found that purpose? And are you spending time allowing that to evolve, hopefully in a beautiful way? So I know my purpose, a writer. That's what I've done. That's what I'm working on a book now. And to be a loving person wherever I go, love kind of comes along with it, I don't think I have a mean-spiritedness. Some of us come here just upset, just pissed off, got to find something to be upset about, I think that could be somewhat of a flaw, if you always spend stirring the pot of crazy, that will follow you. But I believe we have a higher purpose. We have a higher purpose on our life that negates a political party, negates a religious affiliation. Why are you here? Without going into, I'm not going too deep, but we need to investigate a little bit further of the purpose of our life and how we can, assume the very best of our life in our lives. And so I'm just talking kind of briefly today because I think we're all in a moment of saying, I'm always doing something, or my partner's so busy and I'm so busy, and the kids and the this and the that. So it just bears the question, what is the purpose on your life? What is the purpose on your life? And are you fulfilling that purpose? That's the most important thing. Are you fulfilling that purpose? And I'm talking to myself as well. You know, I've had a lot of triumphs and valleys and good and bad. I mean, this is quote unquote life, but overall, why do you feel that you are here? Why do you feel that you are here? And what purpose does your presence serve? So how are we able to serve the community at large in a wholesome, beautiful way? Because some of our people just, do very, 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 very well. We have super duper businesses and all of that. But again, we're back to, why are you here? Why are you here? Not to work for someone else, not to, work as a Hebrew slave till you draw your last breath. This is not life. You know, they want you to believe this is life. This is a good thing. You work 40 years, 50 years on a job and blah, blah, blah. So this would be considered very, very good. Oh, you retired from this company, blah, blah, blah. And this is a good thing. So I'm challenging, our people to just dig a little deeper as to ask your question, maybe annually. Why am I here? Am I fulfilling my purpose of being here? Instead of just rolling on day in, day out, year in, year out. It's just it's this is not the purpose of life. Purpose of life is to be joyful and healing and giving, because you can't take any of this with you. I'm just saying, we cannot take a daggone thing with each person that moves on from this incarnation. So we have to recognize that. And in recognizing that, it will be freeing, because you're not going to be bound as much to the hustle and bustle and the crazy and the, it's too much. It's too much. A lot of our people, have mental illness because they've been going on that same path, and it's very, very self-destructive, or it can be. So just be cautious, and just kind of remember, what is the purpose of life? You know, if is it to amass all the money, the jewels and everything, the art, is that your purpose? You know, it's is it education? Is it um, rags to riches, that kind of story? So many of us have that story. But I just want to bring any and everything into question of the purpose of our, and are we living the purpose? Are we living the goal that we set for ourselves? So, even if it's a dead end marriage, are you honoring that marriage by staying in it? Are you, or just the convenience of it? Now, some people just don't want to walk out on faith, to be, to be on your own, so to speak, to be, that's kind of scary proposition, if you will. But we have to kind of face the truth of our lives. So if you're living in truth, and if you're living in love, it's not going to be a question. You're going to do exactly what you are to do to address these issues. So don't be pulled one way or the other. Just be resolute and absolute of what we are doing, and allow yourself to grow. You should not be the same person you were 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You know, for example, I moved out here in 2013, and I think I may have shared with you, I had unemployment from another state, and it kind of like they sent me a letter and said, your unemployment's going to be cut off. I think it was like 6 weeks. I just gotten to Phoenix. It was like 6 weeks. That was going to be the last, check, and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, But I didn't say anything. I didn't tell a soul. I did not tell one person. And so I was still, applying. And job came through the 30th of June. That was my last unemployment check. I sought my job July 1st. I remember that because it was a critical time. But sometimes we talk ourselves out of stuff. And, if you introduce it with your family and they have their own lack and limitations, ideas. So I didn't say one thing to one person, you know. I do that on occasion. I don't say anything to anyone. No one knows, probably my Scorpio energy, but hey, it works often it does work. So we have to do our part of just examining ourselves. Self-examination is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So if we do this and we teach our children to do this, it would be a new day. So to just say, oh, you have to go to college, you have to buy a house, you have to do, have to. If this is what we're put together, like, where is the joy? Where is the energy of beauty? Where's the energy of exception? We have all of these absolutes that, have to buy a house. I have certain, things that I said back in the what would seem to be 100 years ago, but it was back in the 90s. And I said I wanted to buy my first house at age 90. I mean, it's age 90, at age 30. And I bought my house like a month after I turned, or the month before. I went to my 30th year as a homeowner, first home that I purchased, and not the last. I don't think it will be the last. The one I'm in now, I don't think this is going to be the last. But with that said, we have to have certain goals. If we set these goals, I'm saying achieve it. You know, put some goals in your mind, in your heart, but don't be hog tied to them. Just have some exception. A lot of people have some mental illness. It's so unfortunate in our community, because we've been through it. We have been through it. It's undeniable, and still going through it. We have not received anything from anyone at any time. I'm just saying. So people, oh, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. What have we been doing? Everything that I have personally amassed, it did not come without with someone. Hey, here's $1 million. Go ahead and play around with $1 million. We each have had that, but the mind, when you see the images of the commercials, or whatever the social media is, it's suggesting that we haven't been doing this. And because it'll trick your mind, say, well, haven't I been doing this all the time? But then you start questioning yourself. So we have to do better. We have to be better. We have to eat better. Let's talk about diet for a minute. This is not going to be a long video, but I will say we have to perhaps strive to have a better relationship with our diet. A diet is important. What we put in our mind, in our body, affects the mind. It affects the heart. It affects the whole being, mind, body, spirit. So, what are you eating? What are you ingesting? You know, Take a moment to make that assessment. Check out, am I eating a lot of this, or am I eating a lot of that? So the body's going to tell. The body's going to tell what's going on, because you can see it whenever you look at someone. You can just kind of see what's going on, you know. And for my age, I still have muscle mass, because I work out. I've been working out since the late 80s. I think that was my first membership. Yeah, it was like in my 30s, I think. So, what is your standard? I'm going back to the question. What is your living standard? Don't go to media. Don't go to video. Don't go anywhere. Just sit within yourself and find that peace that passes all understanding. Because if you dig a little deeper, not go through the rote routine of life, and just sit with yourself and say, I'm thinking about what Deanne said. How am I living? What is my standard? Is my standard high or low? And let's be real, you know, speak truth to power, because that's how we will free ourselves from the mental, emotional bondage. We don't have the chains on us now, but sometimes the chains are in our mind, the chains are in our heart. So we have to go in a little deeper and explore where do I need to kind of go to get this result? What do I need to do to get this result? And so I am really, really, I was thinking about this morning. What is the standard of living? What is your standard of living? So I really appreciate you listening. And perhaps I've maybe nudged a question in your heart, your mind, of just saying, where am I? Just look around and just sit with yourself and just kind of go into that meditation and dig a little deeper. Why do you have blocks? Are the blocks because you're lazy? Address that. Some of us are lazy. But if you want to get things done, you may have to put laziness on the side. Now, I'm talking to myself too. But, this is where we are right now. Don't even go to social media. Don't even go to public media. Don't go to YouTube. This is you. This is you, your body, your mind, your spirit. So honor it, and just see, what is my standard of living? Am I eating right? Am I, exercising? Am I sitting still for maybe an hour a day? Just 1 hour out of 24. So that you can do. Just sit meditatively and just allow. A lot of my thoughts have come from my rest to the morning. So when I wake up, I have an epiphany of like, this is what I need to do, and I'll do it. But, be in that zone of receiving. Sometimes we're all giving, 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 but why is it so difficult for us to receive? So take that into heart, because we can give and we can receive. Don't be, upset or, oh, no, I don't need anything. No, there's a time that we give and there's a time to receive, so be okay with both, offer both. you know Sometimes, my mother, when she was working, I remembered that she would often take, she's a really good cook even up to this time, because yeah, she definitely is a good cook. And so she would just mix up something and, take it to work, and, like a sweet or a dessert, something. So not every week, but, once a month she would do that, so she was always giving, and her life has been better because she has been a giver. I'm not gonna say all of her life, but she has given more than she maybe. I don't want to say she's received. She's given and been a good recipient. So let's keep this in mind. I'm not going to belay the point. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back on Saturday, I believe, and Sunday. And there's some shifts in my schedule, and I'm starting a school program, and I'm going to be getting another certification. So my time is going to be a little bit tighter than it has been, but check me out Saturday and Sunday going forward, and I will come with everything I need to say in those 2 days, other than the 5 days I had been on. So thank you again for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you soon in a week. 5 days. Okay, it'll be on Saturday. Thank you. Have a wonderful, peaceful week and stay safe.